Wilder Show podcast. I'm Scott. That's Lauren.
Hello there.
Hi, Lauren. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
I've been better.
Yeah?
Yep, I'm okay.
Well, I would say probably most days I've been better.
Okay.
I don't know that.
I'm fine.
And, I mean, as much as I love doing this podcast, I don't know if at any time we've ever started it, I could say I'm the happiest I've ever been in these many years.
That's right.
Maybe as happy as I've ever been. You know what I mean? A little too much, too far?
This is not really the level of discourse when people say, how are you doing, that we expect.
But don't you think that's part of the problem with us?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. But
so listen,
I'm
if you don't want to
fine.
know, don't ask.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm just fine. Wilder Show podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time or before on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube. Now and again on the TikTok, on Instagram as Wilder Show Pod. And email is podcast@wildershow.com, or just engage us wherever you listen. Give us a thumbs up, a comment, a question. Wherever you get your podcasts, would you like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share? And we appreciate that. There is very good cancer news today that we're going to get to at some point. We'll say a little bit about that. And Lindsey Graham's sister, gosh, tough debate performance for her this last week.
I didn't know anything about that, but tell me more.
I'll tell you in a sec.
Okay.
And something's coming back to the air on your favorite airliner. It's coming back. I can't imagine that they're bringing this back.
Oh, really?
But it's coming back. It's not mini skirts
on flight attendants.
Flight attendants, and it's not changing it back to stewardesses. It's not that, but it's something else in the air. We'll get to that. War. Hey, say goodbye to the USS Abraham Lincoln, the military ship, the warship.
Okay.
That had all the problems. They were running out of food and water, and no fruit and no milk.
Yeah.
And other problems. They're running out of supplies, and it makes sense though. They didn't go out there to be on a ship for 200 days since they have ported.
So they're just
200 days floating around.
Yeah, it's not like they weren't prepared. They just weren't prepared for this. They were prepared for whatever their mission was.
It's supposed to be a certain number of things, but here we are. It's the longest at sea without port ever for U.S.
Is it really?
But the Abraham Lincoln is going to be relieved by the George Washington.
Oh.
The USS George Washington is now in the Middle East. You think about, there's an old phrase, it's like turning a ship around. Something takes a long time, big company, can't make changes. It's like turning a ship around. This is all like turning a ship around.
That's exactly right.
Uh-huh. I actually looked up, how long does it take, for a ship to get from like one place to another place? It's like forever. It takes a long time. Yeah. And then you got 15,000 meals a day you're feeding people that are on board. I don't know how they do it. I really don't know how they do it. Anyway, so the USS George Washington is there in the Middle East and going to relieve the very taxed USS Abraham Lincoln. The Lincoln has been at sea for an extended deployment because of the war in Iran. Oh. They actually were deployed before we were at war. Mm-hmm. And then we went to war and they said, go that away. And that's why it extended. Oil prices have gone back up. You probably saw that. The president, though, has a new strategy. Instead of bombing people into submission or blasting them out, we're going to wait them out. That's what the president's going to do. He even announced that. He says he's going to wait them out. He's going to bring further economic defeat to Iran. Iran says, no, that's a diversion, and all it will mean is further defeat.
Haven't we talked about how patient they are?
Yeah, I'm telling you that.
But we're going to wait them out.
One of our greatest weaknesses is our impatience. And one of the greatest strengths of our enemy is their patience. They tried to bomb the World Trade Center towers in 1993. They waited 8 years.
They did.
To try it again. 8. We had all the rubble cleaned up and a new tower built within a year or something, right? Like it never happened. Like we're ServPro. Like it never even happened. And meanwhile, they're very patient. We're impatient. And I'll tell you, I don't think waiting them out is a good idea. I don't. I don't think it's a good idea at all. It's going to be bad for the GOP. I mean, I don't think the public is feeling better about the war as time goes on. I don't think so. I think people are getting tired. And it's handing to Democrats, I think, a pretty big stick to beat the GOP with. And by the way, don't underestimate Talarico. I think a lot of people are. I really do.
Who do you think is?
I think some Republicans are. I think people are saying, he doesn't have Texas values. We would never do that. Texas would never elect someone like that. I would say, never say never. I don't think so. And it's not because I'm afraid of him. I think he's a horrible candidate. But we don't have the...
You can still think he's a horrible candidate and be a little bit afraid of him. It's not really that you're afraid of him. You're afraid of the people who are going to vote for him.
I think the real deal is we live in a world where everybody wants to be able to do what they want to do and not feel guilty about it, right? You want to be able to do what you want to do, be what you want to be. Don't tell me the rules. Talarico is a seminarian. He's a Christian, but he holds an unchristian position on some pretty important issues. But say, oh, that's okay. I kind of like that. I kind of liked it. I kind of like a religion where I can sort of just get the good part that makes me, saved and feel good. And the other part that kind of bums me out that I don't want to do. I'm not going to pay attention to that. I like that. I like that sort of cafeteria thing. I'm not going to eat that, but I love this. And you know what? We think that's wrong when it results in Talarico getting elected. But don't we participate in that very same thing every time we kind of look the other way and go, yeah, I know, but yeah, I know. I mean, I know what Trump says, but I like what he does or whatever. All those things. There's a drip, drip, drip.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden erosion has taken place. I just saw that one of the former staffers or current staffers for John Cornyn has now gone to work for Talarico.
Really?
Yeah. And said, I spent my whole life in Republican politics, but I got to tell you, this Talarico guy, he's a real deal. I mean, I'm telling you, do not underestimate this guy.
I'm not.
And the thing is, it is a bad combination of Talarico being who we're going up against, and I think there will be some Republicans that will sit it out, and they don't really want to vote for Ken Paxton. I do. And the more stuff that we see coming out, it's just the whole point is to dispirit the Republicans. Make them not want to vote at all. Like, I'm not kind of sick of both sides. Pox on both houses. I'm not going to do it. That's what Democrats want Republicans to feel. Meanwhile, they're going, hey, we finally have a chance. First time maybe in, 30 years to have a Democrat win and go to the Senate. It's been a while. Yeah, it was Ann Richards. It was Bob Kruger, Senator Bob Kruger, that Ann Richards appointed in 1993. So it's been a long time since a Democrat has been a senator from Texas. Anyway, the other side, from the Republicans, the Democrat side, they're licking their chops, saying we might be able to do it this time. Beto was not the man, but maybe Talarico will be. Don't misunderestimate Talarico. Speaking of the Senate, Darlene Graham, of course, we didn't really even talk about this. Darlene Graham is whose sister?
She is Lindsey Graham's sister.
But did you know that she dropped her married name? She dropped her married name.
Yeah, when we first started talking about her last name wasn't Graham.
No, it was like Noble or something.
Yeah.
Darlene Graham Noble. It's like, I'm a Graham. I'm Lindsey's sister. And we talked about, I think early on, I think you even asked me, said, what do you think about them putting her in his place? And I think I said at the time, I think it's okay as a placeholder. I mean, I don't think she's qualified to do that. I mean, we don't know anything about her. At the time, we didn't qualified to do that because she is his sister, Just because you're married to somebody doesn't mean you can run a $250 million organization or whatever. It's not osmosis, right?
Right.
I mean, when Steve Jobs died, they didn't have Mrs. Steve Jobs run the shop. That wouldn't make sense. Anyway, so she's in a debate the other night. Man, this is tough because, she declared that she wanted to be in the main race.
I know this is not a tangent we want to go off on, but isn't the whole thing about the movie The Post, when the character Meryl Streep's playing, didn't she take over after her husband died?
She did.
So there are instances where that happens
Sure.
in business, but that seems even different than an elected position.
I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes she is particularly qualified, and she was, you know. So Darlene Graham is running for the chance to take her late brother's spot at the Senate. So it's not just that placeholder. It's going to be, you know, for reals. She's going to really be the senator, you know, for 6 years. The president has come out immediately and said he endorses her, wants her. Yeah, but why? Honestly, be real. Why does the president want her to win? Because he thinks he can tell her what to do. That's why. Yeah. It's not because he thinks she's qualified for anything. I'm not putting her down. I'm just saying the president can't know that. And she has sort of presented herself as a political outsider, you know, someone who is sort of like we've said before, unfettered by knowledge or experience. You know, I'm a regular person.
Yeah.
The mistakes that I make, as I say, that's part of my charm. Well, she was asked a question, and it didn't go well, her answer. The question she was asked, she's in a runoff with Ralph Norman. Darlene Graham is there, and she's asked, it's a softball. It's a softball.
She still couldn't hit it?
Listen, she wasn't even up to the plate. She was asked if she feels Taiwan and the South China Sea are national security issues for the United States.
What did she say?
Come on. Seriously, right? I mean, seriously, you can so easily explain why that's a big deal.
Sure.
China has, you know, long had their eye on, had just built a separate man-made island to get even closer to Taiwan. We know that the munitions that we were expending in the war in Iran perhaps would impact our ability to fight that war. But I believe President Trump will do the right thing and make sure we have all the things that we need. The attack on Ukraine by Russia and how we supported the democracy of Ukraine, that sends a little message, doesn't it, to China? Will we really stand up for Taiwan? I mean, you say anything like that. So what did she say? Man, seriously. First, she asked for the question to be repeated.
Okay.
Before answering. You know why you do that? Because you don't know what you're going to...
You need some time to formulate your answer.
Exactly. Yeah. And here was her answer after hearing the question twice. I'm just going to be honest here. I'm not on national security, that I'm not that informed on national security. So, and it trailed off and people booed.
As well they should have.
Booed. But then she adds, but I do support the military.
Ooh.
I mean, seriously, it's like, how could you not be ready for that? Anyway, look, I wish her well. I'm sorry for her loss and all that. But people of South Carolina, well, they're going to get what they deserve. But I would say that you're going to put her up there to debate the Democrat about national security at a time of war just because, well, she's Lindsey Graham's sister. Kind of feel bad, you know, the grieving sister. So, yeah, no. Good news in cancer. You know, I've long made clear my position on the mRNA, but I want to be perfectly clear. I have never been against the mRNA. I am not against the mRNA. I was only against the forced clinical trials for everyone in the United States at the risk of losing your job. But the messenger RNA can be a good thing. I even said all along the way, even in all the time that I was saying I wasn't going to get an mRNA COVID-19 vaccination, I said, but I do believe mRNA technology is going to do great things someday and maybe even cure cancer or maybe even cure AIDS or more. Could do more than that. And the beef that I had with mRNA vaccine for COVID-19 was that it was generalized. This is not that. mRNA is a technology. It's a way of creating a vaccine to fight something. And in this case, what they actually do is they take a piece of that individual's tumor and develop the technology to fight it specific to them.
It's crazy.
And see, this is what we were talking about before. There's a new flu vaccine that is mRNA.
Yeah.
And I said, I know you may not want to do the mRNA flu vaccine. You might not. But this is also not that. But remember what they said about the flu vaccine and why it was nice to have mRNA as the technology to be able to develop it. And what they said was because it can be developed more quickly. Mm-hmm. So they would say if there's an Asian flu vaccine, Asian flu round or whatever the kind of flu, the brand of flu that is going to be out this year, they could very quickly, sample it and then get it and turn it around quickly to get to the masses. And then the shelf life of the mRNA vaccines is longer than the shelf life of the other kind of.
Right.
But my point is, it didn't take as long. That kind of technology that allows us to develop something so quickly is how someone who is suffering from stage 4 cancer, in this case, it was melanoma. Mm-hmm. But it's a phase 3 trial. It's Moderna and it's Merck. And I think it was, what is the other drug? One is Keytruda. Yeah. The immunotherapy drug Keytruda. Mm-hmm. So there you go. You combine Keytruda with the mRNA from Moderna. Moderna President Stephen Hoge told the Washington Post, it was an idea 10 years ago. It was a dream still 3 or 4 years ago. And now it feels very much like a reality.
That's really good news.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a really, really big deal. So there you go. There'll be more than 100,000 new cases of melanoma this year, just 1 year in America. And I think 8,500 of those people will die. It's a very deadly form of skin cancer. It's very, very good news. It's progress. It's more than what I think a lot of people would expect. And I think it has a chance to escalate. That once they can find out these things about this, they can apply it to something else and something else you learn all along the way. So the fact that we maybe, something good comes out of that massive forced clinical trial of 200 million people. You threaten them all. They either lose their job or can't fly in an airplane or you can't, serve in the military. So you better get it. And as long as we learn something from it, if we're going to do that anyway, let's learn something that's going to matter. And it turns out it really could be that mRNA technology can maybe one day contribute to curing cancer. Something is coming back to the air for your air travel.
I think I know what this is.
Oh, do you really? You already saw it?
I did.
Oh,
I did.
dang.
I want you can tell the story though. I don't want to steal your thunder.
Well, I'm surprised it's coming back. I really am. I didn't think that they'd be bringing this back because I don't know why. I don't know why they are doing it.
They haven't been gone that long.
No, they still are on some flights. Mm-hmm. But American Airlines announced yesterday that they will be installing, once again, seat-back television screens at every seat. And also will include Skylink internet access.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And they will the screens will be Bluetooth enabled, so you can attach your own little your wireless
headphones. We're making one of the most significant investments in the onboard experience in our history, said American Chief Customer Officer Heather Garboden. From next generation seat-back entertainment at every seat to substantially more premium seating options, these enhancements will give our customers more ways to relax, stay connected, and enjoy their journey. So
I'm kind of mad at them, though.
Because?
I'm not mad at them about the screens. I think that's lovely. If that makes people happy, put those back in the seat backs. The whole thing with not getting miles on basic economy anymore.
That's true.
For years and years and years for business, that is all you and I have flown. And then I've kind of defaulted that too to American for personal travel too. And I have a trip coming up and I'm not going to fly American. I couldn't, it was too much more money to also get the miles. And I could find the same trip actually with a few more convenient times to fly on another airline. And I'm flying Southwest.
Interesting.
I feel kind of bad about it. I mean, I feel very familiar with flying American.
Yep.
I know I'm really, it always kind of surprises me a little bit when anybody is nervous about going to the airport, to our airport, to DFW, because it's so big. And over the years, we've had a chance just to get really acquainted with it. And I feel very comfortable with it. I know in basically every terminal, I know where I'm going, and I've gotten very accustomed to the way American does things. But I couldn't justify paying that much more money to get the miles.
Interesting.
And then if I wasn't going to do that, it was, even basic economy was a little bit more expensive than the other airline.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Of course, sometimes the experience is different. So I'll be curious to know how that goes. Sometimes
I have flown. I did have an opportunity to fly Southwest maybe a year, 3 years ago, and then about a year or so ago. I've not ever had a bad experience. It was really just that we had sort of, gotten into that American Airlines lane and stayed in it
all those years. Yeah, I'm not a snob about it. Everybody do what you want to do. I mean, if you fly, for example, if you if you flew often internationally and you flew to the West, you fly to San Francisco, and you're going to be taking probably a United Airlines flight. These places, that's the hub.
Yeah.
The Dallas, the hub is also for Southwest, but it's a hub for American Airlines. The hub for Delta is Atlanta. There is, so whatever works for your part of the world, or for your schedule, or for your budget. I mean, it's not that big a deal. If you fly American, soon they say, we're going to have those screens again. I don't know. I kind of have enjoyed just using my baby TV, my baby TV or my own iPad. You can still do that, I guess. Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, I guess there's no downside. I do kind of like looking over people's shoulders, see what they're watching. It's like, man, dang, why is she watching that?
You don't do that.
Sometimes.
You shouldn't do that.
Well, I don't make a big deal. How can you, it's like, it's right there.
It's not, it's not really right. You might catch a glimpse of something as you're walking, back and forth to the restroom. Yeah. But you've got to work pretty hard to see what somebody else is watching.
Maybe. I did have to, one time, the thing got busted because I asked somebody, could you move your head a little bit?
You tap somebody on the shoulder ahead of you who's working on a spreadsheet and says, I think I can help you with that there.
If you're going to doze, could you doze on the other way? Oh, it's time for Scatter Sheet.
Let's go.
Wilder Show Scatter Sheet. All right.
One day you're a Belgian car salesman and the next day you're a prince.
Why?
Happens all the time, right? It happened to Belgium's Prince Laurent. Actually, didn't happen. Something happened to him, but it was a long time ago. This actually happened to his son. He is now legally recognized 26-year-old former car salesman Clement Vanden Kerkhove as his son and heir. So I'm just going to call him Clement, if that's okay, because Vander Kerkhove is a little bit, I'm not even sure I'm saying it right. He's the result of a relationship between the prince and a Belgian singer named Wendy Van Wanten. Now, that's not her real name. We'll get to that later. But they quietly brought the prince, brought him into the family at a town hall ceremony. But the new prince, actually, it's kind of a sordid story.
Nice.
His mother told him when he was 16 years old who his father was. Prior to that, the whole reason that she told him was because as a kid, like as a 15-year-old, he had encountered the prince at a mall and talked to him.
Oh, really?
And went home and told his mom, "You're not going to guess who I met today." And she said,
That's your dad.
That's your dad.
Sounds like the script from the Joker. Right? Where the Joker thought that what's his name was his dad.
Did you think that Bruce Wayne's dad was his dad?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Remember?
I didn't see those movies. I just.
You read the books though.
Did I read the?
Yeah,
no.
all the lore, all the comic books, tells the whole story.
I did not read Batman comic books.
Okay.
I was too busy with Judy
Nancy
Bloom
Drew.
and. No, not much of a Nancy Drew fan either.
Laurel Ingalls Wilder.
I read all those. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyway, tell me about the prince.
Well, okay. So, like I said, his mother, whose stage name is Wendy Van Wanton. Her real
Wendy
not
Van Wanton.
Wanton, but it's Wanten. But I think maybe there was a little play
Van
on
Wanten.
words there. I don't know.
Okay.
And this, if Belgians are already very familiar with this because there's been a whole Flemish TV documentary about this whole sordid thing. And I have so Flemish. If you're from Belgium, you are a Belgian.
Okay.
But are you Flemish? So why would it be a Flemish TV documentary? Why would the Flemish do a TV documentary on the Belgians?
I've sometimes felt Flemish like after a milkshake or a malt.
That's gross. And it's a totally different phlegm, but I think you knew that anyway. So the prince, I'm getting so confused by all of these. The new prince ran into the first prince, Prince Laurent, when he was a kid at a shopping mall, went home, told his mom, you're never going to guess who I bumped into. And she said, oh, by the way, that's your dad, or words to that effect. Yeah. So he sat with that information for a while. Clement, the new prince, he said it took him about 4 years before he decided to get in touch with his dad, who, submitted to actually suggested a DNA test, said, let's go do it together.
Okay.
Found out that he was, in fact, the son of the prince, just like his mother told him. There is he will not he's got the title of prince, but he's not going to get a royal allowance or anything like that. And he's a very good son because he's yet to say whether or not he will begin using his father's name, which is Saxe-Coburg.
Saxe-Coburg.
It's a hyphenated last name, which he's entitled to now that he's the prince. But he said, I'm proud of the name Vanden Kerkhove. That is his mother's family's name. And he said, if I give that up, it would be a betrayal of everything my mother has done for me. So he's a prince, and he's a very good son.
There you go.
To a loyal son.
Keeping his mom's name.
And I guess,
Keeping his maiden name.
I guess he's also keeping his car salesman job if he is not going to get a royal allowance from the royal family. What do you think the worst run city in the United States is? It's not in Texas. In fact, we're not. There are a few Texas towns on this list, but they're not. Yeah, I'm looking for the worst run city in the U.S. Do you want me to? I can tell you, you've been there. You've been there several times.
Okay. I already have a guess.
It's kind of the way that it's determined is not only how successful the people are there or how well-to-do the city is. It's sort of how much money do they have and what do they do with that money? Okay. Like, do they have a whole bunch of money and the people are still sort of flailing? Versus
poorly managed, obviously.
Yes, versus the states that are the city. The city who is the best-run city on this list.
Okay.
They are efficient. Okay, so they don't have a lot of money, but 91% of their kids are graduating from high school. And,
Which city that I've been to that I believe is the worst run
city?
I'm going to say Detroit.
They're very close to the when you look at that.
Dearborn.
No, Detroit. No.
Tell me.
San Francisco.
Oh, real? Well, you know what? That does make sense.
It's a real unique mix of those things that we mentioned. Now, Detroit is on. They're very near the bottom of the list. Okay. They don't have a lot of money, and the little money they have, they're not doing very well with it. The reason that San Francisco tops or bottoms the list, depending on the way you look at it, is because they do have a lot of resources and they do have a lot of money, and they still have a lot of waste. A lot of problems. A lot of inefficient.
So who's the which cities are the three worst?
The three worst, and this is 148 U.S. cities that they studied for this. San Francisco is the worst, Detroit, and then New York City.
Yeah, that all makes sense to me. And all three of those terribly liberal cities.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if Chicago isn't right up in there
Chicago
somewhere.
is. Yeah.
Number 4 or
Chicago is
5.
number 5.
Yeah. Who was
I think
number 4?
is Oakland.
Yeah. Well, Oakland is basically San Francisco.
Yeah.
Gosh. That's crazy.
You want to know the best?
Yeah,
you want to know
best.
the cities that are doing it right?
Yeah.
Provo, Utah, number 1.
Conservative.
Yes, Nampa, Idaho.
Conservative.
Okay, and there are 2 cities in New Hampshire that we've been to that we love. Manchester is number 3. Boise, Idaho slips in there at number 4, and then Nashua, New Hampshire at number 5.
Interesting. Yeah, the cities in New Hampshire, even though the state's a little bit liberal, the people there are not as liberal. It all kind of got messed up because of Massachusetts.
Yeah.
People in Massachusetts. Well, people in Massachusetts messed up Massachusetts, the liberals. Then they just,
decided to take all the...
Yeah. They fled to New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
It was so good, and they brought all their values with them. Messed it up.
Lubbock, Texas is so they're ranked obviously from number 1 to number 148, with Provo, Utah being number 1 and San Francisco being number 148. The first showing of a town in Texas is at number 36, and it's Lubbock.
Lubbock is the highest ranking efficient.
Lubbock is the highest ranking in efficiency and in good management. And at number 50 is Garland, Texas.
Hey, come on.
Yeah, I spent a couple of years there.
Yeah.
Sort of raised-ish a little bit there. Corpus Christi at number 66. So yeah, Texas makes a few. Got a few places on the list. Dallas is at 96. Not great.
Well, can you scan down and see what the first liberal city is?
The first
that were good,
liberal city.
And those first 5 are all fairly conservative.
Yeah, let me take a look.
But do you see anything that is like wildly, like Seattle or Boston? None of those, they would not be in the top. They're going to be now down toward the other part.
I mean, Virginia Beach, Virginia at number 8.
Yeah.
Now I was going to say, like from the bottom, I was going to see how far we had to go.
To get a conservative?
San Francisco, Detroit, New York, Oakland, Chicago,
liberal.
Philly,
liberal.
Baltimore,
liberal.
Fresno,
liberal.
Long Beach,
liberal.
Tacoma, Washington,
liberal.
New Orleans.
Liberal.
Is New Orleans? Oh, well,
yeah. Sure.
Stockton, California, Los Angeles, California.
Totally.
Denver at 135.
Liberal. Next.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Liberal.
We love Cleveland.
We do. And it's weird because every time you tell somebody that, they go, "Really?"
I know.
But we found the I don't know, the best possible part of Cleveland.
We found a nice little
it was great. It was green space and it's nice little neighborhoodish thing.
I think that's,
I would go back there.
That's sometimes, when you stay in, like sometimes when we'd stay in an Airbnb that was in a neighborhood rather than in a city center, you do sort of see, I think you have more of an opportunity to meet the people who actually live there.
That's true.
Because you're not in a hotel, full of people who are also
don't
visiting.
live there, right? Yeah, it's good. I'd go back there again for sure.
Seattle's at 130.
Son.
You're right. I mean, it takes us all the way to 117 going up from the bottom of the list to get to Houston, Texas.
So like 60 cities, they're all liberal.
Yeah.
They're the worst. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, there's St. Louis,
they're taxing
Missouri.
the heck out of people, and then they're wasting money and buying free needle programs and whatnot, providing tents and.
I just thought that was really interesting in the way they made those determinations. And the list is actually arranged. If you look at this, and if you're interested in this, I'd be happy to send you a link to this piece if you email podcast@wildershow.com. They arrange the list in several different ways because for the overall rank, they looked at the quality of city services rank and then the total budget per capita.
Gotcha.
Rank. And then there are a few other ways that you can arrange it too, and you can see how the cities move around a little bit. Were you a Pizza Hut fan or a Pizza Inn fan when we were growing up? Are there any Pizza Inns anymore?
I don't know. I think there are still.
There used to be one right across the street from my high school. And when we had open campus on exam days, which was an entirely foreign concept to me, we didn't have anything like that where I'd moved here from. The Pizza Inn was just swarmed
of course.
by, there were a couple, maybe there was a Taco Bell over there too, but the Pizza Inn was where everybody wanted to be.
I never had open campus ever.
Not even on exam days or anything like that?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, maybe if we went somewhere in the morning for a band practice somewhere and we couldn't get back until whatever, we'd all stop by and get some, but not a sanctioned thing where, okay, everybody just runs to their car for lunch hour, which is odd. But to answer your question, for me, it was Pizza Inn. And it was only really because of proximity. There was a Pizza Inn in the parking lot area of the shopping center where my first Minyards was.
I knew that's what you were going to say.
Yeah. Minyard 41. And there was a Brahms and a Pizza Inn.
So you could get a burger, burger and a milkshake?
That's right.
Or
we go right next door. Yeah, we go right next door and play, AC/DC on the jukebox or whatever after the junior high football games.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. It was probably Pizza Inn. I wasn't really as smart about pizza back then or as snobby, but it was fine.
Didn't have quite the sophisticated palate.
Kind of
that you have now.
Been educated now. But yeah, it was for me. It was probably Pizza Inn. How about for you? Was it Pizza Inn?
I don't think there was the whole proximity thing with Pizza Inn too. We had, and there are certainly none of these anymore. We had a Mr. Gaddy's right near our house.
That was one of my favorite pizzas ever.
If we were ordering out as a family or, having one delivered or going to pick one up, it was more Mr. Gaddy's than anything else.
Did you ever go to Shakey's? Do you remember Shakey's?
Rarely. Yeah.
Wasn't Shakey's over near White Rock Lake?
Yeah.
Was that what it was? The cellar? It was right there.
I know exactly. It was on Northwest Highway, wasn't it?
I was thinking it was over on Garland Road, right there where it becomes Gaston. There was one right there by White Rock Lake.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't Shakey. Maybe it was something else. There was a pizza place right there.
My Shakey's memories are more from before I moved here because we did have Shakey's in Minneapolis. I remember it from there.
Interesting. But I always felt like that Mr. Gaddy's had good crust but good sauce. I thought the sauce was really particularly good at Mr. Gaddy's. And I think I liked the way they did their Canadian bacon.
Okay.
As I recall.
So specific.
Yeah, opinions.
You were a kid and you had such, I can just imagine your parents saying, we're going to order pizza. What do you guys want?
No,
and Scott going into a whole thing about, I like the way they do the Canadian bacon at Mr. Gaddy's, but I prefer this about Domino's and this at Pizza Hut, whatever.
Yeah, I had things that I cared for more than, but listen, 4 kids, we're all scrambling around.
Well, that's why I think it would be so crazy.
No, that's what I mean. We really didn't
imagine you and all your opinions.
You didn't really have the ability to have opinions like that.
Yeah,
not really. You had to kind of fit in, which of course I did.
Yeah, maybe those opinions came later.
Yes,
for you. Yeah,
just a tad. Yes,
I got it. Well, there's a Pizza Hut is doing a really cool marketing thing, and I know you're a fan of the brilliant marketing campaign. Pizza Hut, which is based right here in Plano, actually. You may have already noticed this. They've dropped the pizza from their they've covered up pizza on the signage, and this started I think this might have just started yesterday. 2 days ago, actually. I was kind of hoping that it would go all through football season because they're just being called Hut.
Really?
They're just calling themselves Hut for the start of football season. It's only going to go through August 31st. But I thought it would be really, I guess that's maybe too long a stretch of time to let go of your actual name. But
that's funny.
They're and for a while, I think, haven't they used the Nobody Out Pizzas, the Hut?
Yeah.
They've already sort of introduced that a little bit.
And Domino's has done away with pizza from there. It's just Domino's. So there's not Domino's.
They do that? I didn't even know that.
Back.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not been there for a long time. And a lot of those pizza places are doing, wings and sandwiches and whatever else.
Yeah, you can get a whole lot more things at Domino's than just pizza. Did you happen to see or hear anything about Gayle King's reaction to, she was talking about Hayden Panettiere.
Oh, the cheerleader.
The Save the Cheerleader, Save the World. Yes. Young actress who tragically passed away last Sunday, I think, just not even a week ago. And, everybody has something to say about it. Most people have had very kind things to say about her. a lot of people who have worked with her have had, beautiful tributes to her. Gayle King, though, she's said wonderful things about Hayden Panettiere, but she said something about her mother, about Hayden Panettiere's mother, that I thought was just, it just struck me the wrong way. And I know very little about this, but I do know that Hayden Panettiere and her mother had been estranged for a while. Part of the reason I know about that is because she had a book come out, a memoir come out just in May. And so much of it was, she was interviewed in so many places about it. I know that they'd been estranged. Her mother, though, made a statement that said, her statement was, I think Hayden was an amazingly talented person in so many departments. And I think young people who grow up in the entertainment industry, it's a struggle and it's a very challenging industry. And it's not unusual for them to sadly find the wrong path. I think it becomes very difficult to be true to yourself. And I think Hayden sadly lost her way. And I wish it were different. One more thing she said, this person in her life that we've been trying to get rid of for quite some time was with her at her death, and that was Brian Hickerson. Yeah. And obviously, Hayden Panettiere had been struggling for many, many years with depression, postpartum depression, drug addiction, lots of issues. But when Gayle King read that statement on CBS Mornings, is that what they call it now? She said, guys, you read this and all I can think is, thanks, Mom, for nothing. And I just thought that was so harsh for someone really who knows as much about this as I do, as you do. Yeah. You have no idea what that woman as a mom has been through. And now the thing that she said, and I don't know, she might have been a terrible mother. Yeah. I have no idea. But she commented on this 2 days after this woman's daughter had died. Yeah. And felt comfortable making a statement like that on national morning television. And I just thought I don't like her. It's just so harsh and so I don't know. Is that I can't imagine that that's really what anybody needs to hear in light of such a terrible tragedy.
The other thing is, it's not just her talking to her friends. That's her talking to the nation.
I know.
I mean, it's like, even if that's what you think, you don't have to say that.
Not on television.
That's it. I've never been a fan.
Just tell Oprah.
Just later in the evening, just tell Oprah your real thoughts, your deepest thoughts. Oh, that is the Wilder Show podcast. Wilder Show podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time or before on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube, and so on. On Instagram as Wilder Show Pod. Our email is podcast@wildershow.com, or just engage us wherever you find us. Give us a thumbs up or a comment or a question. So wherever you get your podcast, would you like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share the Wilder Show podcast? And Lauren, thank you.
You bet.
And we'll see you next time. Da 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 da